like to welcome everybody here. And we have about half a dozen topics and a number of guests joining us today. And I want to begin with representatives from Crime Victim Services. This is Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
Yes.
We have some activities and a proclamation. So Nicole and Ryan. So please.
Thank you so much. Great. My name is Ryn Farmer. I'm the Rape Crisis and Anti-Human Trafficking Director at Crime Victim Services. Crime Victim Services' mission is to help victims prevail over the trauma of their victimization by assisting and advocating for safety, justice, healing, and restitution. The Rape Crisis and Anti-Human Trafficking Department at Crime Victim Services is eager to involve the community in Sexual Assault Awareness Month and Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month throughout April. Sexual Assault Awareness Month was first started by the National Sexual Violence Resource Center in 2001. The purpose of this month is to foster mindfulness about the realities of sexual violence in our community, enhance survivor support, as well as celebrate the strength and resilience of the survivors with whom we have the honor of working with every single day. Last year, the Rape Crisis and Anti-Trafficking team served 250 victims of sexual violence and human trafficking. We walk alongside them after the assault occurred to help connect them with resources in the community and support them, regardless of whether they want to make a report to others or not. Additionally, since 2013, our Child Advocacy Center has served 383 child victims of sexual violence. The CAC is a place where children who have experienced sexual violence can receive an array of services, including a forensic interview, medical exam, victim advocacy, mental health services, and report to law enforcement. Crime Victim Services has a pinwheel display outside of our agency at 330 North Elizabeth Street if you'd like to go by to honor the children that we serve every day. As I mentioned, we worked with incredibly resilient survivors. I would like to share about one of our survivors of both sexual violence and human trafficking. As a part of her healing process, one of her short-term goals was to get her driver's license and a car. She passed both of her written and her oral test, and we coordinated, and her driving test, we coordinated with Children's Lantern Out of Defiance, who provided her with a vehicle, and Walmart donated and installed a new tire for her. This was critical in giving this survivor a new freedom in her life. She was also supported by others in the community, and those benefit her and many survivors with whom we work. Because of the continued support of our collaborative partners and the strength and courage of our survivors, we get to celebrate stories like this one. Nicole Fairburn is now going to share some of the activities that we have for this month of April.
Thank you. I'm Nicole Fairburn. I'm the Campus Sexual Assault Survivor Advocate at Crime Victim Services. And we are really excited to be engaging our community in some different events throughout the month of April. As far as our events go, we have Denim Day coming up on Wednesday, April the 26th. A little bit of backstory about Denim Day. In the 90s, in Italy, there was a Supreme Court ruling that originally had convicted a person of rape, and it was a teenage girl who was the victim, and they overturned the rape conviction because they had said that her jeans were too tight, and she must have had to help the assailant remove them, thereby implying consent. And so the next day, the women in the Italian parliament wore jeans in solidarity with that victim. So we wear jeans every April, the last Wednesday of April, to honor her and the victims that we serve and to bring awareness about sexual assault in our community. So again, that's Wednesday, April the 26th, coming up in a couple of weeks. We are also excited to be partnering with Children's Services to do a KidX event at the mall. That will be happening this Saturday, April the 8th, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We'll have a table there with information, as well as Children's Services information, and some activities for the kids in lieu of Sexual Assault Awareness Month and Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness. And the last thing that we are really excited about is a silent art auction. Our friends at the Met have partnered with us for this event. We are receiving submissions of art, and we'll be doing a silent art auction at the Met Friday, April the 28th from 6 to 9. Submissions in any form of art will be accepted until Friday, April the 21st at our agency, 330 North Elizabeth Street. And we are excited to have you there. Thank you very much.
Well, this, I think all of us have a sense of horror as we continue to hear the stories of children and other victims of sexual assault as it gets described in the media. I mean, we continuously, I think we're seeing more and more of it being an explicit recitation of what is occurring, and it's important for us to understand this from the perspective of the victim, and so it's in that context that I'm here to offer the following proclamation. Whereas Sexual Assault Awareness Month calls attention to the fact that sexual violence is widespread and impacts every person in our community. And whereas 1 in 5 women and 1 in 71 men report experiencing rape at some time in their lives. And whereas since the opening of the Child Advocacy Center of West Central Ohio in 2013, over 383 child victims of sexual violence have been served in our community. Child sexual abuse must be addressed as 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be victims of sexual abuse. And whereas on college campuses, 1 in 5 women and 1 in 14 men are victims of sexual violence, with 90% going unreported. And whereas the many programs of crime victim services are dedicated to preventing sexual violence while supporting and assisting all victims of crime, Crime Victim Services served 251 survivors of sexual violence and over 2,600 victims of total during 2016. Whereas the purpose of Sexual Assault Awareness Month is to bring the Lima community together to shed light and promote a movement of awareness, education, and action. This problem is everyone's business. Let us end the silence and be reminded that every day is a chance to generate a revolution for the future of our community to bring an end to sexual violence. Now, therefore, I, David J. Berger, Mayor of the City of Lima, do hereby proclaim the month of April as Sexual Assault Awareness Month in our community, and ask all citizens to join advocates and communities across the country in playing an active role to prevent sexual violence among youth and adults. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed the seal of the City of Lima this day of April 2017. Ladies, good luck with your work. Thank you very much. You're welcome. At this point, I'd like to invite Sergeant Nick Hart up. He's the officer that's been heading up the body camera initiative for the Lima Police Department. And Sergeant, you're going to give us an update.
Sure.
Thank you.
I'm going to give you guys just a brief update on where we're at with our body camera pilot program right now. Things have gone pretty well with the program itself at this point. We have encountered some obstacles in implementation of the program that we're currently working with the manufacturer to overcome. We will be testing other models of cameras after the WatchGuard trial period ends. This is to ensure that we're finding the best product and the best storage needs are accomplished for the city. So that's where we're at.
Okay. What's your timetable?
Right now, we do not have a definite timetable. The WatchGuard portion will be ending within the next week or so. Then we'll move on to another manufacturer who has an entirely different model and an entirely different storage method than WatchGuard. And then there is one additional model. We're going to use the same officers that we use for WatchGuard so that we can have a constant comparison from the officers on the street.
Very good. Thank you. And from LACNIP, Roy Baldridge is here. He has information about a couple of events they would like to share with the community. Roy?
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak here at the conference. I'm here to talk about the Ottawa River cleanup, but I want to put a plug in for LACNIP. As the president of LACNIP, LACNIP is very actively involved in serving the community and uniting the neighborhoods and encouraging volunteers. As a matter of fact, I was already at AARP Tax Aid volunteering. That's what this is my badge is about. I have to wear that in case the IRS comes in and inspects my work. I have to be identified. But in any case, we want to encourage people to volunteer. And one of the things that we're doing is we're having Get Involved Lima. And this is a program that is started by the city and LACNIP supports. We're going to have an open house at the LACNIP Resource Center on April 18th. That's coming up just a week or so. And it'll be from 4 to 8 p.m. And this will be an opportunity for any resident of the city of Lima to come and check out what the city has to offer in terms of volunteering and becoming part of a neighborhood. If you want to join a neighborhood, you want to start a neighborhood, whatever you want to do to make our community better, if you want to really help and make a difference, this is this opportunity to find out how you can go about that process. So we're going to have this open house. LACNIP's going to be there, and the city's going to be there. We hope to have other folks too that we partner with participating, and it should be a great event for people to find out about how to get involved and make a difference in our community. So that's April 18th from 4 to 8 at the Resource Center, and it's located at 1440 West Spring Street. Many people know it as old fire station number 4. So please come out, get involved. You can make a difference. So, and I would also point out a lot of other things at LACNIP. We're heavily into community gardens, and that we're really making inroads in that. We have 9 different gardens planned throughout the city, and we're partnering with Soil and Water Conservation, the Chamber of Commerce, the Health Department. There's just a lot of people that are very much in favor and supporting of the gardens. And these 9 gardens, we have over 50 gardeners already signed up. And of course, it's spring's coming, and it's time to get the beds ready, and we've already started at one of our showplace gardens there on Spring in Collette near the St. Rita's. Yeah, and it's coming, it's happening. And so we're sprucing that up and getting ready, and some of the planning has already started, believe it or not. And this will be a great opportunity. We're having regular monthly meetings at the LACNIP Resource Center for those folks that would like to learn more about gardening, how to, avoid produce deserts in the city and that sort of thing. You can grow your own vegetables and that kind of thing in these gardens and have that food resource and benefit from the nutrition and all the rest of it. And we'll teach you how to do it. We've got people that are there and that are very qualified and knowledgeable. And you can, if you want to, you don't think you got a green thumb, we can help you get that green thumb working. So come and take advantage of that as well. And I would point out, too, that Autumn Swanson, who is the neighborhood specialist here for the city, her phone number is 419-221-5177. So if you want to know about Get Involved Lima, you want to know about the open house at LACNIP, you want to find out about the gardens, you want to become a gardener, call her, and she'll get you connected with us or whoever is necessary to make that work. So, having put in that brief plug, I'd like to talk about Ottawa River Cleanup. And this is another great community opportunity for us to make a difference in our city and our community in the county. April 22nd, that's a Saturday, from 9 to 12 noon, we will have our Ottawa Cleanup. And this has been going on. LACNIP was one of the original participants in this and organizers. And we are partnered with the Ottawa River Coalition, the City of Lima, LACNIP, of course, Keep Allen County Beautiful, White Refuge, and Republic Services. So we got the trash haulers on our side too, and they've been very instrumental in helping in this process. Anyway, since 1993, we've been going out on typically the fourth Saturday of April and cleaning up the river, and we've made a big difference. We typically have taken out 10 tons of trash and debris out of the river on these occasions, with over 250 to 300 volunteers that come down and make this happen. We meet at the Red Cross building, which is at 610 South Collette Street at 9 o'clock, and we get the process started. You're supposed to wear old clothes and comfortable shoes and prepared to get wet, although we don't encourage anybody to go into the water, but you can get wet. Some places are a little mucky and whatnot. In any case, in this partnership, we take out all this trash and have these good volunteers doing this good work, and we have made a difference in the Ottawa River. It's cleaner and better today than it has been in years and years, so it's a good thing. I encourage you to bring your kids along. A child has to be supervised by a parent or someone over 18, but this can be a family occasion where you can teach young people about keeping our environment beautiful and making a difference in our community. So the wonderful opportunity for a fun outing if you want to take your kids or grandkids out on and the other thing, we check the weather. It's supposed to be a beautiful day. So we operate in the rain if necessary, but I think it's going to be a beautiful day, nice temperatures, and it'll be great. When you get all your work done and you've had all this fun collecting all this trash, then you meet back at the Red Cross Center, and we provide a free lunch. We provide a T-shirt and a certificate of appreciation. So isn't that a great thing for a kid? To take them out, have a good day with them, doing something productive, and then they come away with food, a T-shirt, and a certificate that is suitable for framing and posting on their wall. So it's an exciting time, and we hope that you take advantage of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Lots of opportunities to get involved in the community. Chris Fast, our tax supervisor, is here this morning with information that will follow up on some prior announcements. But I have to say, when I read the paper the other day, I was surprised with some of the information that was there concerning this upcoming tax filing. And I'm sure that for the general public, this issue needs to be punched up for them. So, Chris, why don't you talk to us about the new requirements?
Thank you. Good morning. Yeah, first, just a couple announcements. The filing deadline actually is Tuesday, April 18th this year. And as long as the tax return is in our office or you have the postmark of April 18th, it's considered timely. And our office will be closed next Friday, which is Good Friday. But this coming Saturday, April 8th, we will be open to assist the public as we've done several years in the past. So those who work the same hours as our office is typically open, they can come in on a Saturday and get assistance with getting their Lima tax return filled out. Those hours will be 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. But on some of the new requirements that the mayor had touched on, a copy of the 1040 is required to be submitted with the Lima return beginning with the 2016 tax year, which is the year that you'll be filing this year. We're only requiring that for residents. There are some very few occasions where a non-resident may have to submit a 1040 with their return, but right now it's only residents that we're requiring to do that. And there is also new this year a late filing fee. So if you come in after April 18th or your postmark on your envelope is April 19th or beyond, there will be a $25 late filing fee, whether you owe any tax or not. And then it's $25 a month after that, up to 6 months or $150 that you could see in late filing fees.
And that filing fee, or late filing fee, is a result of state law.
Correct. Both the change with remitting the 1040 and the late filing fee were changes made through House Bill 5 in an effort to get more uniformity within municipal filings in the state. The Ohio legislature has a couple of the changes they put in there, among other things that are more business related.
So the 1040 is the entirety of the income tax filing or just the first couple pages?
Well, it kind of depends. Most people, the front page, the first page is all we're going to need. But there are some instances where we may need the full 1040, like if someone has business expenses, 2106 business expenses, we're going to need the full 1040 and all schedules. But the other attachments that go with the 1040, like the W-2s and any other schedules that they may file, like for self-employment or rental income, those have always had to be submitted with the filing, so that's not changed. But all the attachments must be with it. If we're, right now, if we receive a tax return in the mail and they do not have the 1040, we're sending them a letter back along with their return telling them they're required to submit the 1040, and we're giving them, well, right now, I mean, they can get it back before the 18th due date, but if they come in on the 18th, we're giving them 10 days to get it back into us before they're subject to the late filing fee. Thank you.
All right, very good. Again, this is all resulting from action in Columbus, and that filing for the 1040 was news to me. When I read the article in the Lima News, that's the first I had seen any information about that, and I think that will be real news to 95% of the public. So we appreciate getting the word out. Also this morning, we have representatives here of the Parks Department, the Rotary Club, and Lima City Schools. I guess just Parks and Rotary. So Rick Stolley and Dave Frost.
Thank you, Mayor. It was kind of tentative when we spoke with the city schools about getting the kids out of school today, so we'll go ahead with the announcement. But on Monday, we rolled out a plan that we've been working on with the Rotary, the City of Lima Parks and Recreation. And it's called Little Free Libraries. And Dave Frost came to me last fall, first started talking about it and started to put the plan together. And I'll let Dave kind of fill in the community what we're going to be doing with those free little libraries. So, Mr. Frost.
Thank you, Rick, and thank you, Mayor, for having us. As Rick mentioned, my name is Dave Frost. I'm the president of the Lima Rotary Club. And just to kind of recap how we got to this point, probably a year and a half ago, my then 8-year-old daughter came to me. She's a student at Shawnee Elementary at Elmwood, and she said that they were having a lemonade stand to raise money for a Little Free Library. And at that point, I wasn't familiar with the Little Free Library concept, so I did some research and quickly found out that this was something that we needed to get more involved in the community and wanted to do anything we could to help her out. So I researched this, and coincidentally, a Rotarian in Wisconsin started this concept by the name of Todd Ball. And the concept is very simple. It is a library. It's a weather-tight structure, probably 2 foot by 2 foot, maybe 3 foot tall. And these structures are put out throughout the community. And the concept is to encourage people to come and take a book, and if so inclined, to leave a book. They are for adults, for children. The goal, obviously, is to not only promote reading and literacy, but we also want to promote the accessibility of books. I read a statistic just the other day that 61% of low-income families don't have a single book in the home. So, again, Rotary, I went back to our board last, probably late summer, early fall, and I pitched this to our board. And one of our board members is Jill Ackerman, Superintendent at Lima City Schools, and she was quickly on board, and we really started to gain some traction with this concept. Jill aggressively took this back to Jim Nichols, who heads up the construction trades programs at Lima City Schools. And Jim and his class took this on as a winter project. And we wanted to start somewhat conservative. We started with 10 of these structures that were built, and we were hoping to have one with us today, but they are really, really nice. They did an excellent job with them. And so after we got the 10 built, we decided, okay, now we need to find a home for them. And one day as I was coming through town, I just happened to be driving past Fairburn Park, and I thought to myself, well, this would be a great location. So I had Rick's number in my phone, and I called Rick, and he was quickly on board. We talked for probably 30, 45 minutes that day and really just brainstormed all sorts of ideas and possibilities how we could grow this. So we've come up with 5 different locations that we're going to start with. We've got Robb Park, we've got Martin Luther King Park, Lincoln Park, and we will eventually have one here in the town square once we get the roads project straightened out and we know where everything's going to go. We're hoping to have one there at town square, and then also Lincoln Park as well. Our 6th location will be at Salvation Army. Major Stacy has been generous enough to give us a little bit of land. They have an after-school program, so we'll have one located there as well. We will be having a book drive throughout the month of April. We'll be asking our Rotarians to bring books, again, children's books, adult books, to our meetings. We would extend that to the community as well. We will be collecting books from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock at the Veterans Memorial Civic and Convention Center. We'll be at the North Hall every Monday from 11 to 1 throughout the month of April. All of the material was donated. Again, we will be having Rotarians oversee each site. We do have 4 more that we need to come up with sites for. We'll be asking Rotarians to give us suggestions as far as where we want to locate those other 4. But again, we will have a committee. The volunteers will oversee the Little Free Libraries, check in on them, and replenish the books if need be. And again, a tremendous amount of gratitude to our partners, City of Lima, the Parks Department, and also Lima City Schools for their efforts.
Terrific.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sounds like a creative project will meet a really serious community need.
Sure.
Very good.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
David. And I believe, yes, that's all that we have for today, so we'll break down for interviews. Thank you.